Don't click up just yet. You might have already seen this. I'll explain why. Ladies and gents, this is a controller chapter. We're going to be talking about a lot of controllers in the next coming videos. Everything you see and probably some more. So this video that you clicked on, it's actually about this controller. Hi, I'm Clef and you're watching Game Tech Talk. Alright guys, before we go any further, the X2S from GameSir, the X2S Bluetooth I should specify, that was not sent for review. I actually paid that one with my own money. I wasn't supposed to shoot this video, to be honest. I wanted to buy it to have it to talk about it in the G8 Plus video, which if you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend it. It's on my channel. But yes, I wanted to have both of them at the same time so I could, show that as an alternative for people who maybe want something a little more small form factor. But I received it the day after I shot the video and it was basically being uploaded. So I thought, you know what? I have it anyways. Let me make a video about it. And here we are. Now, before we open it, I have a lot of controllers, and when companies send me stuff, it's one thing. When I pay for the stuff I have, it's a different one. So I'm not going to be keeping this one. This will be up for giveaway. All the details by the end of this video. All right, let's open it. So, actually, the box, very simple, very straightforward. There you go. So this is empty. The controller itself. So what do we, well, the controller, those little foam pieces. I'll keep that because when I'll repackage it, it'll be useful to have. Here we have a USB-C cable, those little nubs that they always provide, a little thank you card, that's what's inside. And here we have the manual. As always, I always recommend keeping the manuals with these controllers because oftentimes you have a lot of different modes. I would assume this is going to be based off of the X2S regular, the non-Bluetooth one. So it's probably not going to have a whole lot of modes, but we'll look into that anyways. I'll put that aside for now. And before we continue any further, here is the regular. I really enjoyed the color scheme when that came out. And I gotta say, I love the color scheme of this controller. It's probably, in my personal taste and opinion, the best looking controller that GameSir has put out so far. So in terms of the controller, now some of you may be familiar with the X2S, so of course we'll talk a little bit about what's the same, what's different. Now the obvious thing is it doesn't have the USB-C connector because this one is fully antenna, Bluetooth specifically, so you don't have any USB-C connector. However, you do have one at the bottom, which I'm pretty sure you can use to plug in, which is not the case here, so that's a benefit that this one has. And here you have the pairing button, much like the X2 Bluetooth. I used to own that controller, actually. It broke, unfortunately. It wasn't the same GameSir then. GameSir have come up so much since, like they have upgraded. And, we have the X2S Bluetooth. We have the X2S regular. It's really basically the exact same thing with the one exception that I mentioned. So it's connected. Let's go ahead and add to the GameSir app. So you see, it's not even in the list of what is compatible on iOS. So this one simply will not get recognized. And that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. You can use it on the iPhone 15s. Now, when it comes to the X2S line, you don't have a 3.5mm jack. You don't have rumble. You don't have any of that fancy stuff that you find on some of those models. That really is a low profile backpack pocket type of thing. And with this one being Bluetooth, you do have a few more capabilities, but for all intents and purposes, and this is not the controller that we're covering, but it's just to show you that everything works. But as we've seen in the app, you have a lot of features that do not appear. So let's go ahead and power this baby up. Okay, DualShock 4 wireless controller. So that's what it's going to appear as on iOS. And as you can see here, it is working. And it seems to be working pretty nicely. No. I haven't played this game in a minute. The face buttons are tactile. So is the D-pad. You have small sticks, but with those caps, you can change them to something bigger, which personally is my absolute go-to. when it comes to the X2S, and same here. You have that lip on the triggers leaning slightly upwards. They're analog. You don't have any back paddles or any extra buttons on this controller, so we're really stuck to, you know, the basic and what you would expect. No center pivot on the D-pad. The D-pad is okay, not the best. Probably wouldn't want to use that for fighting games necessarily, unless you are not picky. Yeah, it's not necessarily the best when it comes to D-pad. But we also have to keep in mind this is a fairly cost-efficient controller. It seems that GameSir kind of soft launched this one. They haven't really did any press push all that much. They did a few shorts on their channel, but nothing too crazy. They, at least to me, they told me that they weren't necessarily looking for coverage, because I did ask if I could get a review unit, but they said they weren't looking for coverage, so I ended up buying my own. So this is the controller here. I mean, it definitely works for iOS. It works for Android as well. Now, of course, because the original X2S has the connector on the left, you don't necessarily want the Bluetooth for your fold, because you can just use it like such, which is one of the big things that people dislike when talking about folding phones, which I totally understand. With this one, it doesn't really matter. You can just slide it up. The X2S can easily be modded, right? So you just open it and you put a pressure pushing outwards. It comes out like that. And you can extend it to pretty much fit a tablet. This fits the iPad. If you've seen my video where I talk about the iPad Pro playing emulators, I use this controller on the iPad. So it fits the iPad, but the mechanism will get a little looser, like you can see here. So can you do this with this one? As it turns out, you absolutely can. It has the exact same mechanism. It works just as fine. You can also put it on a tablet, and it's about the same width. There's really no difference. So when looking at the X2S Bluetooth, really all they have done is take the exact model. They haven't changed anything. The buttons feel it. Everything is the same. Like they're identical in terms of feel, in terms of ergonomics, in terms of buttons. They both use Hall effect sticks, by the way. The one difference is here you have the USB-C connector. Here you have the Bluetooth. That's basically what it is. You hold the capture and A to pair to change the modes on this one. Yeah. So this is one mode. Then you have another one that would be, one is iOS, one is Android HID mode, which is an old legacy mode on Android. Another thing I wanted us to check is, because I was really surprised at the compatibility of the G8 Plus with the GameSir app. So I want to see how that one is going to do. That's a huge advantage. If you want something that is candy bar, that is small form factor, especially for your iPhones. So that doesn't necessarily have to be the iPhone 15. It could be an iPhone 14, iPhone 13. Doesn't matter which model. If it has Bluetooth, it will work on your iPhone. Now, when looking at this, you can do everything you'd want to do. So you can test your controllers. You can change your button layout to the Xbox One or Nintendo One. Of course, the layout that is on the controller is ABXY. You can change the dead zones on your joystick. You can swap your left stick and D-pad. So, if you have a software that isn't compatible and you want to swap it yourself, you can go ahead and do that. You have triggers, so you can do the hair trigger. If you're not familiar, basically, whenever you push your triggers, it's gonna slowly hit the value, right? So if you're playing xCloud, for example, the more you push the trigger, the faster your car will go. If you do hair trigger, it will always immediately go from 0 to 255, and you don't have to hold it very long to be able to do that. But yes, that is it, guys. That is the X2S. It's one of those products that just works. You know what I mean? Like, it's comfortable in terms of ergonomics. You have that extra feature, Easter egg, with the tablet mode support. S8 Ultra and S9 Ultra are too wide. It's not going to work. But for like the iPad Pro 13, which is a 4:3 aspect ratio, it works. You wouldn't go much further than that, mind you. Now, it holds very, very tightly when you do that. And as we said, the coils will get loose over time. But for everything else, I mean, this is a lovely controller. Again, maybe not the best D-pad, but if you just want something for quick remote play, oh, by the way, it works, yeah, on iOS, it works with remote play, but also on Android, because it spoofs as a DualShock 4. So it's gonna work for that as well if you're trying to do that. So yeah, all in all, I mean, it's a good product. It's a reliable product. There's really not much else to say about this. Again, I wasn't supposed to make a video necessarily, but I thought maybe some people would be interested to know that it works that much better with iOS. And I think that is the biggest leap when looking at this controller. Can't really go wrong if that's what you're looking for. You know, at the end of the day, I think that's the important thing to remember is this is a very specific style of controller. This is smaller form factor. It doesn't take as much space in a backpack. You have a nice battery. You know, you don't have the whole split thing that we have in the G8 Plus. So very straight to the point. And if that's what you're looking for, you got something that is better now because it is fully compatible with Lightning connector iPhones, and it is also compatible with folding phones, with regular candy bar phones, and it is also compatible with tablets. I mean, if you don't want to spill the extra cash to go get something like a G8 or G8 Plus or a Razer Kishi Ultra, which is much more expensive, well, that might be the play here. And so that is it for me, guys. I hope that was insightful. If you have any questions, as always, make sure to drop them in the comment box below. I still have a lot of videos like this one coming out of a lot of other telescopic controllers. Is there better? 100%, but for the price, I think it's just a great value. I almost forgot for the giveaway. So it is open for anyone in Canada or United States. Unfortunately, I'm not able to supply the unit to someone living outside of Canada or United States. The only thing you have to do to participate is to write a comment on the video, and about a week to 2 weeks after the video is out, I will just pick someone random and I will let you know on the comment that you left that you are the winner. After which I'll ask that you send me an email with your address, and I will ask that you enter a random sentence on the comments so that I can confirm that you are who you claim to be. I am leaving on a trip overseas on August 1st and we'll be back on August 16th. So chances are that the giveaway winner will be picked sometime while I'm gone, so it will be shipped upon my return as soon as possible. And so that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.